Hello. Oh, I can see the intonation is changed. Hello. um, I have decided to make another update recording. Um, is the one I made as the last one um, is shows how weak I became after my sojourn in the hospital. In hospital, excuse me, in hospital. Um, No wonder, considering the circumstances, I mean, being taken there in the handcuffs. Um, of course, I was behaving very politely, and there was no need for that, really. And it happened when I started walking towards my balcony to see whether the door was still not broken after the people, the police, and the people from the hospital um, broke into my flat. So this is the starting reality for the new epoch in my life. That day changed my life. I think it's not accidental that they took me to hospital on the day when I was to celebrate birthday, my mother's birthday with my mom. So this is the cruelty, and obviously it strikes at us both. A lot has been going on since then. My life has become much more difficult, but I have found a way of living, a new way of living. Um, so it's been long enough for now to consider it a routine. I started reading books. It's so wonderful that we can read books, and it's not the kind of pleasure it used to be because of the things that are happening to my body and to my person as well, to me as a person as well, and to my closest family. So I keep on repeating it, but this is basically what my life has become, the terror, the trauma, and atrocities. Um, However, I want to say that I have not given up, and I'm reading a lot. I mean, not a lot in the sense of um, having high statistics of the pages read, but in the sense of spending all my days doing that. I don't know what a person can do in the circumstances that have been created for me. So this is what I do, and I'm going to live this way. Um, I start my days with learning Russian. I have decided to make my attitude to Russia non-political. This is a beautiful language, and I'm reading a book that has lots of words in sentences. I have never learned it this way, really. Um, I mean, I had never learned this way, really. But in the circumstances that I have, this keeps me focused as I read from one sentence to another. This is a compilation of the vocabulary. I focus on recognizing the words that I know. So I want to have this feeling that the 8 years of Russian at school was not nothing, and that it has left me with some knowledge. Um, I have a sense of not remembering all I read, all I read, But I have decided not to worry about it. Um, um, of course, I would like to have the full memory of all I have learned, um, but the things are as they are. Um, so this is how I start my days, and then I also and then I reach for further books. Mm, by learning Russian, I also want to catch up with the things um, I have not done the way I should have done. And I do focus on humanities. This is the humanistic um, slant, because I value humanities more than sciences, than exact sciences or economy, etc. I'm not interested in economy at all, to be honest. So my only interest in economy would be duty, but I am not bound by any duty by now, because of the crimes committed against me and my closest family. Naturally, I need to have a stable ground for my in the area of my studies, and that is English philology. So that means probably that I will have to reach for books with English too. My language is not at its best, that's obvious. And I have problems even with Polish nowadays, because of all the mess created. So sometimes I have problems with stating, right, this is really Polish, or no, this is not Polish, and that concerns grammar among other situations. But sometimes it's even about words, which is just unbelievable. But such things happen, and I believe it has nothing to do with whatsoever psychiatric disorders. It has all to do with the crime, with what's being done to my life. So the English philology, naturally, I mean, this is again the time I spent, I invested in it, so I need to have it naturally. And I have decided I will be reading the pure literature from Norton and Helsztyński. And of course, at one point, actually, I have already done it, but at one point, I will do more of it. That is reach for the books of poetry. So just immersing in it. This is not particularly extraordinary. And for some people, it may be pretty funny that I'm talking about such things while they really live their life this way. And so, what's the point at all? I mean, what do you want to say? And basically, I want to say that I have not given up, because my situation is totally different from the situation of the people who just who just live their lives. I have been deprived of my life, and it includes the stolen identity. So, apart from the pure literature, I'm trying to go through the history of literature. So I read a book about English literature, how it was developing. And I don't remember all those names and all those days, but I believe that by reading it, I acquire awareness, and this is quite important for me. So this is not encyclopedic, really. This is more interactive for me. So what do I actually um, discover in a way about how literature um, was growing to become um, so great in the people who came much later and I believe most of them have had the mastery of not only of language as such, but of the knowledge of the previous of what had been previously achieved. I did not start my own writing from such awareness, traveling forth, but as I'm saying it, I'm not sure if it's really the case. Well, certainly not in the way that I'm viewing it all now, because I got stuck. I got stuck in my poetic drama. Um, all because of the developments in my life, but also because suddenly I started thinking, oh my God, is it literature or is it not? And I cannot answer this question because, of course, I have an intimate emotional attitude to what I have written. And there are so many thoughts. Perhaps I should make a recording that is an interpretation or introduction to this poetic drama, The Royal Dziady, The Evil Spirit, written in Polish, but I could say a lot about it in English. But then I would have to approach it as a student and actually go through all the parts with an interpretation, pinpointing all the thoughts. It's so packed with thoughts. Um, and I've been just reading that that's not really romanticism, but I believe it is really romanticism because there's a lot of feeling there too. And there are many other statements. So it's quite, there's quite a power behind it all. And I've got myself in a funny situation because I believe that you can, I mean, perhaps you can, I cannot somehow do both things, it seems. That is, to approach literature as a reader and to create literature. No, well, basically, I want to create literature because it's not a confession, for example. So it was supposed to be literature, but you know, I did not think of it when I started writing. Um, or I did not think of it at this awareness level because I did think of taking the Christ of the nations, of the Christ of the peoples of Poland. But then Poland has become even more of the enemy. So things are pretty crazy and tough. I mean, not crazy, insane. Insane is the word. And of course, the English philology is my education, and from that grows my competence as a teacher. But I also read the history of the Polish literature, and I have my books with Polish poetry or thoughts too. So this is the life I have chosen in the wake of the tragedy. Um, at least I have that. And I also read some philosophy, um, also the priest's philosophy. Um, Priest philosophers appear in my poetic drama, and I want them to have their conversations in the presidential palace too. So I need to prepare for that. And perhaps this is where I got stuck too, because so far the poetic drama has been a natural flow of feeling expressed in thoughts. I'm also wondering about the actual what it really is, because it seems that in the way I do it, there's actually one thing that is emotion and thought. So there's no differentiation between the rational and the irrational, the reason and the feeling. These are not juxtaposed. So, but that might have to do with my personality. Um, Obviously, it is about the spirit, so it's very, 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 very romantic. Um, and the attitude to conventions. I have, it is not an innovation. I mean, what's that really? When I think of it formally. Um, so um, um, I don't know. I see. I see what will happen. Um, I'm thinking of the next step in of the next scene, how it should travel on, because it's a journey. It's really a journey. Um, and as far as foreign languages go, yesterday it was my Saint's Day. That is the saint that is supposed to be my guardian, Saint Agnes. But also it was the Grandma's Day, and I reached for my German, and I do not feel very comfortable or confident with it right now, but I must somehow make it alive again. However, the focus is Russian. I am consistent here, and I think that I'll add English too. I have not done it yet. I mean, I read in English, but not too much, and I am also thinking of doing what the practical English actually involves. I have not had much encouragement in any of the areas, I must say. But as I'm saying, this is basically not giving up. And anything else I should say in the stream of updating information? I guess that's all. I don't go to church nowadays because the attacks get much more serious then. And also and the point at which I am in my drama, which is actually the beginning of the third part of the fifth part, darkness, is states exactly that the drama. What is it? It is the drama of faith and love. So I'll be developing from that point on, and I'll see where I arrive. Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Rojek, the 22nd of January. The 22nd of January, I was not making any snake sounds. I have nothing to do with that. So it's the 22nd of January 2023. This is an impoverished life, but still it's life. And of course, I'm thinking about my parents all the time.